Hi guys, today we're going to be solving absolute value equations. So these are really going to be new to us, and we have to think about properties of absolute values to do them. So what do you think our first move is going to be if that is our example? The absolute value of 2x plus 9 plus 4 equals 5. Awesome. Our first move is to get the absolute value alone. So step 1 is to get the absolute value alone. All right, so what's our first move then to get the absolute value alone? So we do want to subtract 4 from each side. All right, so think about this. The absolute value of a number, if I cover up the absolute value, so let's just imagine that we're covering up this absolute value. What could this be equal to get an answer of 1? So there's actually two ways to make that 1. So we could get this inside the absolute value to be a positive 1, or the absolute value of what other number is a positive 1. Good, a negative 1. So step 2, what we need to do is branch left and right. We need to solve for the positive answer and the negative answer. So on the left, everything's going to remain the same. On the right, we keep what's inside the absolute value and we negate the answer. So a big key component to doing these problems correctly is to branch. The left side comes down without the absolute value exactly as it is, setting it equal to the answer. The right side, it comes down inside the absolute value exactly, but we negate the answer because the inside could be a negative 1 or a positive 1. Step 3 is going to be to solve both equations. So go ahead and solve both of these for x. So I believe our two answers for this are going to be -4 and -5. To be sure that I'm correct, I'm going to go and I'm going to check both solutions into the original. And then step 5, when they both check, I'm going to do a solution set. I'm going to do a check. I go back to the original. I'm plugging in -4. 2 times -4 plus 9 plus 4 equals 5. -8 plus 9 is 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 is 5. So that side works. I'm going to check -5. 2 times -5 plus 9 plus 4 equals 5. -10 plus 9 is -1. The absolute value of a -1 is 1. So 5 equals 5. It's going to work. Our solution set, please make the set builder, or the set notation, will be -4 and -5. Or you can box both -4 and -5. So both are the correct answer. There are a couple special cases when we solve these. So there are times where we won't have to branch, and then there's times where we're going to get no solution. So we could have one answer or no answer. So the two special cases are going to be one solution, no solution. So why don't you think of When will these happen? When will we have one solution? When will we have no solution? Good. So one solution is going to occur when the absolute value is equal to 0. So one solution happens when the absolute value equals 0. That just means we can't do a positive answer and a negative answer. No solution happens when, what can't an absolute value ever equal? So an absolute value can never equal a negative number. So that will never happen where it equals a negative number. So this one is no solution. All right, there are 4 examples to try. I suggest you try them. I'm going to put the answers down. If you're listening to this right now, please put a star by number 1. Awesome. So we're going to get through all both special cases are on here. I'm going to do the problems, but if you want to try them on your own and then check with my answers or see my work, if you do not get the right answer, feel free. All right, so in example 1, the absolute value is already alone, so we're just ready to start by branching. So we get y minus 5 equals 3 on the left, y minus 5 equals negative 3 on the right. Add 5 to each side. We get y equals 8 here. Add 5 to each side. We get y equals 2 here. So this solution is 2 and 8. Quick check. So the absolute value of a negative 3 is 3. For example 2, we're going to start it by getting the absolute value alone. So our first move is to subtract 4. We get 3a plus 2 equals 0. We're branching. Because it's equal to 0, we can only solve for one answer. So this is one of our special cases. Check back into the original. So 3 times negative 2/3 is negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 equals 4. For example 3, you can either do a lot of work or a little work. Right away, when I get the absolute value set equal to a negative 8, right away, if I see that, you could get no solution. So an absolute value cannot be negative. So remember, the absolute value has to always be alone before we say that it's no solution. If you solve this, you're going to get 2 answers. That's why it's really important to do your check. So if you're doing it and your check doesn't work for either of them, go back and look. Was it equal to a negative number? Example 4. Example 4 is a good one. If you want to think like a mathematician, you might want to move the absolute value away to the other side to make it positive. Otherwise, we're going to have to divide by a negative. So my strategy is going to be to add the absolute value of 2x plus 4 to the other side, just to get rid of the negative. And then I'm going to subtract the 3 over. Now I'm ready to branch. So I'm just going to move this back to the left, equaling 3. So I have 2x plus 4 equals 3. 2x plus 4 equals negative 3. So when I solve for x, I have 2x equals negative 1. X equals negative 1/2. 2x equals -7, x equals -7/2. I go back and do my check for each into the original. Please go to the original. So our check of -1/2, substituted in, 6 minus 2 times -1/2 plus 4 equals 3. -1/2 is negative times 2 is -1 plus 4 is 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. So that side works. 3 equals 3. Plug in the -7/2. It should never happen where one checks and the other doesn't. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure that they're both always checking. If not, you have to go back and check your math. So a lot of times people screw up on the right-hand side and they don't do their checks, or they just assume that it's going to work. And sometimes it doesn't because they didn't negate the pieces right. So 6 minus 3 is 3. So this checks out again also. All right, we're going to do some more practice. I'm going to give you a partner page to practice, and then you'll have some independent practice. Have an awesome day, and ask me for help if you get confused. Thank you.